So I'm very wordy and desire to be minimal at the same time. So I wasn't sure how to call this. I'm not really totally into the what I eat in a day videos and a vlog. I just don't have time for all that. However, I thought I would come on and take a little minute in the garden before I go to water again and share some stuff with y'all. So, this freedom hair, these Afro locks, I just washed it with water. I only rinsed it with water today because it doesn't feel like it needs any soap. And I do think that's something for us to be mindful of. One is to use a good quality natural shampoo because it does make a difference as far as the hair not being stripped, especially if you have this very fine, delicate hair. And then two, you don't have all of that buildup in it. Every now and then from your shirt or something or a scarf, something may get caught in the very, very tip of the end, which you can literally just pick out. So also in terms of self-care, so this is in a Belizean peanut butter jar, but I dried a whole heap of tomatoes and I only put spices and I didn't put any salt in it. These are really, really yummy. So these are some of the things we'll be making in the cocoon. Oh, that's what I forgot to bring. Okay, these tomatoes I got from a local farmer. So all of these tomatoes were about $1.50 US. And the tomatoes that we have here from our garden, these are the supplement what's in our garden. Plus sometimes I want to make some treats. What do I got in my bag? And what I got my bag video and all of the other stuff. So I've water. Oh. So hold on. I'm going to grab the kaimito and the tomatoes. I knew I was forgetting something. Hold on. I'm going to grab it. 1 second. Alrighty, coming. It's coming. Okay, so these are the tomatoes from our garden. Aren't they beautiful? Totally different. So the flavor and the scent is totally different. These are local from a local farmer, and these are from our garden. We still have a lot more of these tomatoes. I've dried a bunch of tomatoes, and this looks like a tomatillo. My sister gave this to me. This is from our garden. And we got some goodies in here. So again, I don't do what I eat in a day in the traditional or the common format. Let me not say traditional. I don't know that you. Oh, my thing is flying away. I don't know that YouTube is old enough to be traditional. But I have some of these on an older video. So these are in season now. These are kaimito. They look like grapes, maybe a little bit like guava, but they're not. So this is kaimito. I've also been told they call these babiwata, right? And this one is kind of ripe. So these are in season right now. Now, when I go to eat these, my face is going to be looking a little funny because there are several tropical fruits that have, I don't know what the technical, the Latin name or the scientific name for the substances, but there's something inside that's almost like a juicy fruit gum that's very, very sticky. And the less ripe it is, the more of that sticky substance you have on it. So this one is pretty ripe. It's bust open, so these are sun ripened. You do want to be careful of worms because this stuff is organic, right? So I've eaten those tomatoes today. I've had loads of water and tea. What other goodies I got in here? I got stuff from other folks. So this is what I'm gonna eat right now. Usually when I hit the pavement, I just came from the market, I usually have water in my bag, so I'm just gonna rinse this off. So have any of you out there haven't had or heard of a kaimito? Usually I have a cloth in my bag. So my lips are gonna get sticky, so don't laugh. Well, you can laugh, it's okay. And again, these are the beautiful tomatoes from our garden. So, someone said today, oh, you have nice skin, which I always marvel at because I had a lot of acne, which is one of the reasons why I don't like to wear a lot of makeup because I'm in the garden and I like to sweat and I like to feel, I like for my skin to breathe. And then also similar to my hair, I like just the freedom of knowing that this is mine. I may want to play. Recently, I've been playing in a little bit of mascara, and I like cocoa butter usually, or shea butter on my lips. But for the most part, I notice with living foods, my lips feel so hydrating. Even playing around with this stuff, usually it feels heavy. My lips on their own they're plump, they don't get dry, and they just feel hydrated. So that is definitely something I notice with living foods. So I'm wipe this stuff off to shine, the shimmy shine. And like I usually like using cocoa butter or shea butter. Really nothing. I don't really need anything on my lips. That's like a big distinction. I could feel even the natural lip balms I used to get from the food co-op, they feel heavy now. So my lips feel very hydrated with nothing on them. So I'm gonna bust open this caimito. Again, these are local tomatoes from a local farmer, and these are my fresh dried, and I didn't put any salt on. These are actually delicious. I put some fresh ground spices that I ground up myself. What was the other thing I wanted to say in terms of like this being like a day in review? So today I went for a nice little bike ride and a walk, and that is something I'm going to be offering in honor of my mom and in honor of those mothers and those grandmothers that may have been in years and years of a rut, or just in a loop where they can't seem to get the momentum and the motivation to move. And maybe by this time it might, as I know, as a fitness coach, that if you've been on years of inactivity, when you go to initially to begin a movement practice, some people call it a workout, it can actually be really uncomfortable and painful because your joints will stiffen, your body gets tight, muscles are tight, you get sore very quickly, and it's a new sensation, especially if you've never been athletic. It can be very, very uncomfortable, so it can be discouraging. So today, and even I, as someone, as a fitness professional, I can get in a rut too. And I'm very, very observant. I'm very, very humble to mothers, people with busy schedules, because I'm always fascinated, right? It's a rabbit hole. Sometimes it's even a little, and, anxious, or like, I don't want to say, almost like scary. Do I put myself right there with the client is so I can relate to what they're saying? One time I could never relate to an injury for years. Maybe in my upper 40s, I got my first little injury. So I'm very, very careful of injury because those things can turn people off. But in any event, I dedicate like a walking program to my mom and all those women out there that feel like there's no motivation at all to move. And so support and also changing your environment and using different tools that can catapult you, right? Or jump you from what I call stinking thinking right into a whole nother frame of mind. So changing your environment, which can be as easy as I'm going outside, and also music. Those are tools that I've been using for years. So when I went to the park today, it's been the first time. The park has been closed. The park has been closed. The park has been closed. There's been military manning the park. There's been nobody at the park. And so I said today, I was riding my bike. I did walk up some steep hills. I push my bicycle up some really, really steep hills, recording the walking program so that folks have some kind of support so they can get walking. And I said, let me go check the park out and see if anybody's there. And I went inside. I didn't see the regular soldiers there. And this has been months. And I asked them if the park was open. They said, yeah. They didn't sound too sure, but they said, yeah. And then I said, you got to be kidding. My heart was racing, like thumping. Not racing, but thumping. I was really excited. So I rode my bicycle over there, and the gate was open. I saw a couple of people, many people take a shortcut through the park. So I went in there, and oh my gosh, I felt so energized. It was really hot, but it was just so beautiful. Oh, I felt so energized. I felt so happy, alive, awake, energized. Like my mood shifted 360 degrees. Not that I was in a bad mood, but been in a bit of a rut for me. Now, fortunately, I have a very active lifestyle in general, but just for me, in terms of even me, like my work, I didn't feel like the intensity. I haven't felt motivated. And I also can track and trace where that usually comes from. So social media can be a demotivator. Fussing, fighting, arguing, or being a depository for other people's stuff they're going through. I find that those things are energy drainers to me. Now, I'm not making it right or wrong, but those things for me, as someone that's very sensitive, can totally, after a while, if I'm constantly receiving a deposit, it affects my mood, and I find it's taken from the currency of my focus. I like to be very, very mindful of that. But today when I went in the park, I felt so energized. I was feeling like almost stuck, like no motivation, or like, your mind started thinking, oh, I'm gonna injure myself if I do this or that. Honey, I did little mini shuttle runs. I just had such a nice, beautiful, peaceful movement practice session, and I was able. It was just me and the breeze and the trees and the sun. Oh my God, I felt like high, amazing, alive. That felt so good. It's like almost indescribable. So, 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 so good. So, I'm big on this inner listening, right? The inner communication. I know that's something for me. That's a pattern. Sunshine makes me feel better. That's medicine. I'm sure it's the equivalent to some people taking a medication, and I have to have sunshine, and I like the rain to nature. I must have access to nature and for my skin and my face to touch the elements. I need sunshine. I have to have fresh produce. I have to have fresh produce and fresh herbs. I gotta have a little something cute. Okay, so I just wanted to express that today. Thank you to the person that said I have nice skin, because recently I had a blemish and it was looking crazy. It's always a little reminder. And I don't eat junk food at all, which is amazing that I can say that after many years. I don't eat any junk food. I don't crave it. But even if I don't get enough sleep, or if I start delving into too many nuts and seeds, particularly if they're not soaked in part of a dish, I notice like clockwork, I'll get a blemish. So I know that it will fade on its own, so I don't have to touch it. I don't pick at it. I don't do anything. So that is always comforting to me to know and trust in my body that it's a self-healing mechanism. So that being said, I'm going to break open this caimito. I'm going to break it open. So it's kind of like, I call it like a milky grape. Some people also call it star apple. So there are different things that people call a star apple. So it has like a subtle milky kind of sweet aroma. Vanilla-y, like vanilla mixed with grape. So if you were to cut this with a knife, it has a really beautiful pattern in the center, but I just broke it open. I don't have a knife. These are nature's sweet treats. So caimito or star apple or babi wata. This is nice. Toyo. I feel so good. Oh, I'm sitting here looking at these collard greens. These collard greens and this cilantro and this basil. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's so tender. Ooh. I took some pictures of some of the greens that I'm growing here. It's so beautiful. Listen, look at it. Listen. I'm inviting y'all. I'm inviting y'all to grow something. I'm inviting y'all. I'm encouraging you to go into a cocoon, like really. I mean, this is beyond self-care. It's like it's such a relief. It's such a beautiful lifestyle. Like, it's simple. It doesn't matter. You could be in the city. It doesn't matter. I love Prospect Park in Brooklyn. But the tomatoes are coming up. It's like taking the time to live and surrounding yourself, not just in house plants, but growing something that you can eat. It's beautiful. So it's a beautiful, simple life. It's moments like this. I'm like, this is happy food. This is happy food. This is like what makes me really love this lifestyle. Oh, it's dripping. The ants are gonna come for me. See all of that milk? So, borders are open. Some other folks are coming down at the end of this week. So I'm gonna be making a Living Foods lunch for them. Look at this. I mean, even I'm looking at my own skin. My skin was full. My skin was looking like the sidewalk, and that's for real. This one is right. You saw all of that milk in there? Plant milk. That's good. Oh my gosh. I feel so blissful right now. I'm going to save one for my sister. I'm not going to be greedy. And I'm going to open up the green one. So if y'all was there, y'all could come through, honey. We eat treats all day and play. Make some time for some work. So I'm gonna bust it open. You can see all the milk in there. It's dripping, so the ants are gonna be coming for me. So check it for worms because the creatures be getting theirs too. So this is more caimito. Mm. And I'm gonna replant the seeds. That's what it looks like on the inside. So you could cut it nice with a knife to look at the designs, but I'm just gonna enjoy it now. So I don't have to go in the bodega or inside the store. I don't have to read the ingredients and be discerning, should I eat it? How many calories? That's not my concern. I can eat freely. That's one of the big distinction with whole living foods, unprocessed, if you're adding light heat or the heat of the sun or a dryer. But my main thing is the food with the living water, right? Because most of your body is water. Thank you, thank you. My movement practice today, that park, child, I was feeling joy and blissful. Made me want to do it like an extra set. And it was good quality time spent with myself. And behind me, I have 6 new buckets of greens, 6, 7 new buckets with some Asian varieties of greens, which are really tender. So I'm looking forward to those busting. And all of the Siberian dwarf kale, those are almost 95% germination rate. So all of those have bust in the front. So those are doing really, really well. And I've grown several things in that area that I've rotated in order to give the soil a rest. There's nothing like eating your fruit right. When the fruit is ripe, it tastes totally different. Like, let's say papaya. I used to hate papaya. One of my most favorite foods. There are many things that I didn't like before that I love now. My palate has changed. I adore fresh food, but also you can't taste the fullness of the food when it's picked too early. That's like pulling a baby from the womb before it's fully developed. I don't know if I'm gonna call it a mukbang. Oh, I got another half. Woo, I was about to be, man, I gotta go share this with my sister, but I have a whole nother half. But this has actually a good amount of weight on it. This is a nice size caimito. This is a big one. This is caimito grande. How deep is your love? I'm going to go throw some house music on. This is delicious. Thank y'all for coming into the garden with me. You know, it's interesting. I really like to observe the fruit. Now, this I know is right because it's not leaving my whole mouth white with stickies. Maybe just a little bit. So I know that it's right. Look at all that milk in there. Isn't that pretty? A lot of these skins you can also use for plant dyes. My sister and I, we went to Guatemala. She's an artist. So she's into looming and backstrap weaving. So we took a whole course with a Mayan woman there on dyeing the cotton, because the women, they'll pick the cotton, the algodón, fresh. They'll go pick the cotton, and then some women dry it. They pick it and dry it, and then some women spin it into yarn, and then some women dye it, and then some women weave it. Ooh, that's a lot. So they use just the plants for the dye. Really interesting. This has a lot of water in it. Look at all that milk. Tastes like vanilla milk. So anybody that's coming down hit me up or send a message on the website if you want to come down for just fitness, waterfalls, big giant iguanas, living foods, and gardening and chillaxing. Some me time. Hit me up. Mm. Oh my God. It's moments like this. I'm sorry. I'm like, this makes me so happy. I know it's a moment. But between, this is a lot of stimulation. I got the caimito. I got these to pick from our yard. I got the dried tomatoes that I dried. Delicious. The jar was full. There's no fat in there. Full of flavor because I ground spices fresh to put that on there. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to make some soup with this or do I want to dry some more tomatoes? Because these are going to dry down to nothing. But if I wanted something like a tomato paste, then I could use those. Mm. So y'all hit me up. I'm going to be getting ready for the folks that are coming down from the States to spend some time with us in the garden. And I'll be making their food fresh every day. Mm. Just garden, movement practice, playing food. That's it. I'm happy as a pineapple. It's my little cup. All right, so I just wanted to come in and touch in and review the day and encourage you to get into your movement practice. And if you're dealing with a lot of acne, as I was now, I don't have anything on, hooray. If you're concerned about your body falling to a healthy weight, and this for me is like a thick weight. This is me, you know, experimenting. I don't know if it's been a couple months now. After 11 and a half years, I decided to experiment with some sweet potatoes and some squash steamed to see how I feel. And you know, it's just sweet and it's comforting. So what I've come to is a lot of the starchy food, even if it's unprocessed, even if it's lightly steamed, even the steamed plantain, I find that cravings for salt kick in and eating more than a portion usually goes with that. And I think your palate, I've observed that your palate can change. I'm in a space of not having any phobias around food. And I've actually gotten so clear and grounded due to taking ownership and experimenting with myself. Now again, my thing is eating for longevity, for beauty, for mood, and then also, this is such a pleasure. These are good experiences for me. I have to, just like I have to have the sunshine every day, I have to have good experiences with food. That's how I feel like calm, like I'm not dieting, I'm not being deprived. When people feel like they're being deprived, that's when you just, you know, that binge cycle continues. And I was also thinking, as somebody that in the past had a lot of colonics, I remember at one point I was like, you shouldn't really need to have to get a colonic. Because I've observed a lot of binge purge. And folks don't have a clear idea or clear commitment to what they want to do, how they want to live after. You know, so I'm not the food police or the hair police, any of that. Everybody has to find their own journey. But I can tell you, if you don't put the junk in, you don't have to work like a demon to get it off. And today I was so excited in my movement practice. In my mind, I was like, I want to go back for more. And that was just from going outside and getting the sun on my skin. So I'm going to be adding some... Okay, it's over now. It's over. I'm going to be adding a walking... I got to wipe my hands off. I'm going to be adding a walking program in honor of moms and grandmas. Because there are a lot... They're really an asset to the community. And we all could use some motivation and some support. So what else I got in my bag? Ooh, I got another one. Let me make sure I didn't eat my sister's. Oh, this is not mine. Rats. Oh well. Gotta share. So I'm wishing y'all create a great day, rest of the day on purpose. Also coming up in the cocoon. I'm always very observant, and look at this. I probably got all this white stuff around. Not too bad. I'm always very observant of what are sticking points and plateaus, what have been for me in the past and in the future. Where are most people's slipping points or plateaus where they may come along with their movement practice or lose a lot of weight and then go back. And I know one of the biggest challenges is the eating late at night, right? Usually not really out of true hunger, but out of frustration, irritation, tired, sleepy, cravings, a cycle of cravings. So all of that we're going to be addressing also in the cocoon. All right, see y'all soon. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Y'all welcome to come chill with me in the garden at any time. All right.